I assume somebody's going to tell me when I can start talking. Go for it. Is my mic on? Yeah, there it is. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. So good to see all of you here with us today. We'll wrap up our conversations and we can get started in a couple of seconds. So welcome. 1 Million Cups is a weekly networking event for entrepreneurs and people interested in entrepreneurship. This is our second week back in person at the Museum of Visual Materials. So good to see a little bit of a crowd here in a nice socially distanced, mask-wearing, hand sanitizer way. I'm glad we're still able to do this in the environment that we live in, and we're able to make some accommodations to keep doing this event in the world we live in today. We're also live on Facebook with the help of Pinnacle Productions. Thank you, Pinnacle. And they've really ramped up our production quality. If you guys had a camera in the studio, you would see their fancy sound booth and all the cameras and projector, and they've done a really good job with that. So 1 Million Cups, we've been around since 2014, so this is kind of our 6th year of doing this. But every week we feature a speaker, and then the speaker will talk for 6 to 10 minutes about their business, and then there'll be 20 minutes of Q&A from the audience, and then our event wraps up about 9:50 every morning. But a lot of, really the goal of this is to foster relationships in the business community, introduce people that don't know each other. People have formed businesses together, people have gotten hired. Just lots of good things have come out of 1 Million Cups over the years. One of my employees, Maureen, I met her at 1 Million Cups, and just lots of good stuff has come out of this. The first thing we do every day is what we call the calendar of events. So if you have an event that you would like to share that's coming up in the Sioux Falls business community, we are going to do this a little bit different today. We have a mic stand here. So if you have an event that you'd like to share, come up to the microphone, and then Thad will point a camera at you, and then you can share your event. So, Sadie, I assume you have some events to share, right?
I do.
So, Sadie, why don't you show us how it's done?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sadie Sweer, and I am with a nonprofit organization called Downtown Sioux Falls, Inc. And so I like to come here and just talk about what events, promotions are going on, not only that DTSF is putting on, but that businesses and organizations have going on. And let me tell you, there's something happening every single day, every single week. So usually we just do it on a weekly basis. But it's a very exciting week because it is October 1st Friday, this Friday. And so that means that not only are there going to be daily specials, deals, and promotions going on, but it's a community favorite event, a real kickoff to the fall and autumn season, and that will be the October Art and Wine Walk. And it is all in the name, people, because there's going to be local artists, lots of wine, and you can walk around to various businesses around downtown and sample wine and meet some local artists and check out some new spots. And let me tell you, this is one of the businesses' favorite events, and so there's over 25 locations, and you can find all of those locations online at dtsf.com, but you'll be able to sample different kinds of wines, purchase a punch card, and again, that's the October Art and Wine Walk, starting at 5 p.m. and going till 8 p.m. this Friday at a variety of different downtown locations. So again, visit dtsf.com for more information and a lot more different events, and thank you so much. It feels good to be back.
Thank you, Sadie. Sadie is also our newest 1 Million Cups organizer, so she's going to be emceeing a little bit this year, and we look forward to having Sadie on our team. Who else has an event to share this morning? Peter, got nothing? Aaron?
It's not technically my event, but since nobody else is talking about it, Innovation Expo is coming up.
Thank you.
In about 3 weeks, 3 weeks
October,
from tomorrow.
Is it?
And so check it out at sdei.org. I'm hoping to have a couple of students, like last year. We took first place last year.
Yes.
But anyway, it's the type of thing that's right down our alley, and I encourage everybody to
And there's
check
going to be
it
some
out.
awesome
SDEI.org. October 22nd.
22nd.
And
It's like
at
12 to 5 or something like that.
Was it the Hilton this year?
Yeah, it's at the Hilton Garden Inn. But Innovation Expo is kind of the conference for people that run startups or are interested in venture capital. So if you have a business, you're looking to raise money for it, or you're looking to invest money in local businesses, Innovation Expo is the place to be. Any other events today? Going once, twice, sold? Okay. Lance, I will invite you up. And I will introduce you as you're walking up. I met Lance probably 5 years ago, maybe at the bakery back in the day. And I kind of got to know Lance when he started doing some catering. He had a little commercial kitchen out of the private airport, and now you have a restaurant downtown. So it's just been fun to watch your business grow and evolve over the years. And we had lunch on your opening day, and the food was great, and the cheese curds were fantastic. I would eat those again all day, every day if I could.
You can.
So, amen to that. So Lance, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Matt. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Lance White. I am a chef. Not certified anything. My journey started as a high school dropout, and in '95, I was living with my ex-girlfriend and her parents. Anybody want to sign up for that gig? She gave me the go get a job speech, and I went and worked at a 4-star restaurant here in town, fell in love with it, and the rest is history. Like Matt said, I did meet Matt. I owe a lot of gratitude to 1 Million Cups. I went through a divorce about 5 years ago, and I was back in Sioux Falls, and I was kind of burnt out on restaurants and the traditional executive chef role. When you work for someone else, they want you to work 120 hours a week and pay you for 40. And now I just get to pay myself for 40 and still work 120 hours a week. I did that backwards. Anyways, I actually came to a 1 Million Cups, and I saw Addie Kramer speak. At that time, the event company was about a year old. And I was really inspired, and I thought, man, if she can do that with events, I can do that with food. And so really over the course of the last 5 years, that's what I've been doing, is I've been trying to do something different with food. And no, how do I say it, inspiration of my own, other than I wanted to sell food and I didn't want to work for anybody else. And basically what happened is a client reached out to me, a friend of mine, said, hey, can you cook my family some gluten-free meals? And I said, sure. She said, how much? I said, I have no idea. So anyways, I cooked for her. Her neighbor saw me. Next week, I cooked for her and her neighbor. They were in Brandon. Week after that, it was her and her neighbor and 2 other people in Brandon. And then after that, it was 25, 26, 27 different people every Sunday. About 2 years ago, like Matt mentioned, my old cafe spot out by the private airport, Signature Flight Support is its name. I was there about 10 years ago, and that opened up, and so I went with it. And then really, we have to go to, so I was there for about 2 years. Back in March, I just wanted to tell a little bit of the story about how we got in over here. I'm literally across, am I that way? Is that right? Yeah, I'm across the street. COVID hit in March. I had 5 different ways of selling food. We did family meals. We did our little cafe. We catered to airplanes. I taught cooking classes. And then there was the 5th one there. Anyways. And COVID hit, all of them went away, except for the one, which was the one that kind of got me started, which was the meal delivery service. And we were just doing it 1 day a week. And then I saw the writing on the wall, and so I said, well, maybe we'll do it 2 days a week. And then a week later, we pushed everything to online where people could pre-order it. Before, I was just texting literally everyone, copy and paste, like 150 people every time. And we pushed everything to online, and from March until today, that business grew by 500%. So it was the only thing that I had left, but it also sustained me through these crazy times. And the wife and I were kind of kicking around the idea of, man, we're kind of running out of room and it's getting a little crowded, that kind of thing. And so we were kind of looking, but not really. And then a friend of mine posted about the old Luciano spot just right across the street. Said, who wants to be my neighbor? And it's a very beautiful building, similar to this one, probably built the same year. And so I knew the landlady. I shot her a text and I said, how much? And put the phone in my pocket. We went and watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off at the cheap theater with the kids. And they're in the arcade, and I pulled my phone out, and there was like 5 texts from the landlady, and kind of scrolled through them real quick, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally interested. Well, I missed a 0 in the rent. Yeah, right? And so I said, I'm definitely interested. How about tomorrow? And then we looked back, and we saw the extra 0, and we thought, oh my gosh, there's no way that we can do this. But one thing kind of led to another, and Rayfield's Art Gallery was interested in the other side as well as the basement, and so that figure got cut into a third, and we're like, this is a little more manageable. And, being a high school dropout, I have business plans, but they're not articulate like maybe some of your guys' are. I mean, we do numbers and that kind of thing, but I really operate and thrive on faith, and so that's what we did when we first started looking at this. We said, said a little prayer and said, God, if this is the direction that you want us to go, then open doors, and if it's not, then make everybody tell us no. And obviously the answer wasn't no. So there's just story after story after story about how everything just kind of fell into place. We signed the lease, and 6 weeks later we were open for Matt and his gang on our opening day. So everything moved super fast. One of the unique things about our restaurant, somebody do this when I'm talking too long, all right? One of the unique things about our restaurant is we have a tree of hope. And back in March when COVID hit, I had no idea if I was going to survive as a chef. All my buddies' restaurants were laying people off, and so I thought I was going to have to drive an Uber or get creative, and so I didn't have much hope. But because of Sioux Falls and everybody, people were sending me money from Brookings, don't give up. We had people from California that used to live in Sioux Falls that they're like, we want to buy $300 worth of meals for whoever. And so I was like, okay. And so when we got this restaurant, we really wanted to try to somehow give that hope back. And so we hired a local artist to paint a tree of hope on our wall in our dining room. And every guest is supposed to get a leaf. If not, go visit it on your own. But just write a little prayer, or something for your mom, or something for your business, or whatever. And for years and years, you can look back. Our goal is 10,000 leaves on there, and we're going to get different colors. And so that's where we're at with COVID in place. That restaurant could probably seat, our capacity is 280, and we have 100 seats in there. So everything is very spaced out. We have all of our servers wear masks. We have hand sanitizer everywhere. And we'll probably keep it that way until this blows over or whatever happens next. We still do our family meal delivery that people can order it online. We're still cater small events. A lot of them right now are box lunches and small rehearsal dinners and that kind of thing. But, the future for us is, I think like most entrepreneurs, you really don't know. And that's kind of where we are too. But we have a vision and we have a plan, and really, I mean, I mean, I love cooking, and the team that we've been able to find, you know, I have 4 of my 7 children working for me, and my wife has, she's formerly a nurse, but when COVID hit, she was not excited about being in that field any longer, and she's an amazing, amazing business manager. She keeps me organized. I can cook food for 200, but don't ask me to send an email, kind of a guy. So I know that in one way, shape, or form that we will continue to cook for people and serve people wherever that need is, and I hope you guys all get a chance to stop over there and check things out, make a reservation, or just show up. But again, I just want to finish where I started, which was a ton of gratitude for 1 million cups. I know I haven't been here a ton, but when I was in a pretty dark place 5 years ago, this really inspired me to do something different, and it's kind of been my thing ever since then, is just be different, you know, think outside the box. You don't have to be a traditional anything. Like, we make the rules, and we can change them and break them and bend them anytime we want to. So I'm running out of stuff to say. So
Well, thanks, Lance.
yeah. So do you usually ask the first most difficult question? Or
You know, I
do you
used
stop?
to do that,
You
but
don't?
my old age, I'm kind of getting soft. I will ask the first question, and I'll throw you a softball.
Oh,
What is the best tip you've ever received as a waiter or a restaurateur?
like a financial tip, or like a tip?
Financial tip.
A financial tip. I mean, I like it when people hand over $100 bills.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Okay, what's the best business tip you've ever
The
received?
best business tip. The best business tip I would say that I was ever given was by a chef friend of mine, and that is that every penny matters. From your waste to, you know, buying tomatoes even. You know, if you can get quality tomato for 60 cents versus 89 cents, you do that over a year or 2 or 3, and so we try to watch that. And then the other thing was that you don't owe anybody any favors, which sounds harsh, but when you're in business and you have a soft heart, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that, but you don't have to do that. You're not obligated to do that. So those were softballs. Jeez.
Well, this is our first day with a mic stand, so we are going to invite anybody that wants to ask a question. I'll stand over here. Just come up to the mic stand. That way you're on camera for the Facebook Live. And don't be shy.
So you've obviously been in business for a good number of years at this point. I want to hear about some of like the trials and tribulations that you faced at different phases in your career as you've kind of transitioned from one thing to the next.
Sure. So I would say, you know, one of the very interesting things about my life is that I haven't even been married for 2 years. And in the first 2 years, you know, we bought a house and my kids moved in with us, and we started one business, and now we're starting our second business, and we haven't even been married 2 years. So that has definitely affected our personal life to where it's like we work together all day, and at the end of the day, we still go, oh, I miss you, you know? I would say currently that's a thing. Obviously, the COVID thing was something that we're just like, what even do you do? Like, how do you do it? You know, and I just feel like I was positioned. I was in the right place at the right time. I would say probably my biggest challenges over the years has been, finding good people that will believe in the vision, right? So like, obviously, like, I'm a high school dropout, and I had a good mentor, and that mentor like taught me how to cook, even despite myself, right? Like, I would argue and fight and why and stuff like that, But there's a lot of people that want a job, but they don't necessarily see the bigger picture. They just see, oh, at the last place I worked, we didn't like this, and so like, I would say that's the most challenging thing that I've seen over the whole 25 years, and is working for someone. I guess the best analogy that I can give there would be, there's two people laying brick, and the one guy's just laying brick, but the other guy is, no, I'm creating a place where people from all over the world can come and worship God. And they're both building a church, but one is just laying brick, and the other one sees the bigger picture. And I would say that's probably the biggest challenge that we have with people. And I don't think anybody in this room can identify with that. I was just kidding. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would love to say that I have a ton of hard times. But I always just, I guess, try to stay positive. The biggest lesson I learned was don't go into business with other people. I'll just leave that there. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like, partners, and like, the more people that are involved to make the decision, the more difficult it is to just pull the trigger and make a decision. And, thankfully, it's just my wife and I that are making those major decisions now, and we get along pretty good. So, but I would say the headaches that came in my life were for that very reason, is because, I didn't have the money, but they had the money, so I went into business with them, and then it didn't work out. And it wasn't their fault, it wasn't my fault, it was just, that's the way it is. So I'll shut up.
Hello again, Sadie Swear with Downtown Sioux Falls. So, Chef Lance, welcome to downtown,
Thanks.
of course.
Thanks.
So I have two questions. What are you most excited about being an entrepreneur, restaurateur in downtown? And what are you most looking forward to for downtown Sioux Falls, or what would you like to see change or improve about the community in downtown?
Wow. I love downtown. I work downtown, live downtown quite a bit. The community downtown is pretty close knit, I would say. It's historic. It's fun. I also think that there's a lot of people in Sioux Falls that don't like to come downtown, and I don't know the reason behind that. If it's parking, or if it's they just I have no idea. One of the things that I'm looking forward to the most about being downtown is being able to do things differently, from the standpoint that I have no problem buying a hot dog cart and wheeling it across the street and selling it to everybody at the Levitt, I'm a firm believer in tell me I can't and I'll show you, and take pictures, So being part of downtown gives me that opportunity finally for the first time to not have someone tell me I can't do that, and I can say, we're going to do this, and then watch it either go over good or blow up, But finally having that time for the first time in my career where I can say, you know what, this is how we want to do things. How to make downtown improve, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck in my kitchen a lot, so I don't know what's going on and what's happening, but I would love to see, more more collaboration with businesses instead of like, this restaurant competing with that restaurant. Like, hey, why don't I go over and cook over there on a Friday night and have your guy come over here? And, and I'm in the food business, so I see that. And I'm sure that there's a lot more opportunities out there for this boutique is over here and that boutique is over here tonight, or, whatever. Like being creative instead of saying, we're open from 8 to 5 and here's a sale, come and see us, So that's my 50-cent answer. Oh, Peter's back. Peter's back.
I got a question from Facebook, and this one's actually a softball answer.
Oh, okay.
And it is, what are your restaurant hours?
Oh, gosh. That's super easy. So we open at 11 o'clock Monday through Saturday. And then the kitchen shuts down from 2 to 5 every day. And then we stay open until 9 Monday through Thursday, and then we're open till 10 on Friday and Saturday. So I intentionally shut the kitchen down from 2 to 5 just so that we can serve everybody better, and we have 3 hours in between. And if the family meals, delivery services running behind or whatever, it gives us that time to get caught up. So in the future, we might do breakfast on Saturday or something, but right now that's where we started, and when we change, the world will know. So. Morning.
Good morning. I'm Dave. Got a major softball question for you. What is your signature dish that you like to prepare at your restaurant?
Okay. Signature dish. Well, I can tell you that the menu is literally made up of dishes that I have done and executed well for the last 25 years. So every meal is a banger. But one thing that you can get at our restaurant that I'm not sure that you can get anywhere else in town is our beef Wellington. So beef Wellington is tenderloin, and then it's wrapped in puff pastry and baked. And it's the dish that Gordon Ramsay always throws back at the chefs because they didn't do it right. Gordon Ramsay is a chef. He has a... All right, never mind. And we do a mushroom puree and provolone cheese inside ours, and it's the most expensive thing on our menu, and it's also the most ordered thing on our menu and the most complimented thing that we've seen so far. But so I love that. And then starting this last weekend, we started doing features. Like I was ready to I love this menu, but now I want to have this feature and this feature. And they're like, stop. Just let them enjoy your menu for a couple weeks. So we're doing scallop risotto this weekend. And really, I just love creating. So tonight we have our first wine dinner, 5-course, 5 different wines, 5 different small plates. Remedy Brewing Company is making a beer for us. Chef Lance is on tap. And so we're going to do a beer dinner with them next month, kind of as an unveiling, come try. And then we'll do another wine dinner every month. I wrote the menu on a piece of paper, took a picture of it, sent it to someone. They turned it into a nice flyer, and 18 hours later it was sold out. So that tells me that people like wine dinners. So we'll probably continue to do more and more of that type of stuff. But to answer your question, I just love creating. And so I love it when people come in and they go, hey, I'm gluten-free, but I don't like anything on your menu. What can you do? I say, well, if you trust me, then I'll just cook it. Right? Instead of, so not everyone's that easy, though.
ready for the hard question?
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest thing holding you back from growth is right now? Like, what is preventing you from being the most successful restaurant in town?
Well, I am. No, I would say that the biggest thing holding me back, Matt, would be time management on a personal level. I'm ordering the food, I'm training the staff, I'm talking with the wife, I'm coordinating with the bar manager, text messages from the kids and schedules and people's personal lives. And so I would say that every day I get wrapped up into the deadline. Like soup's got to be done by 11 and the day-to-day activities are taken care of. And I would say what's holding me back is I just need to manage my time better so that I have more time to delegate and to share that vision instead of just saying, hurry up and get those burgers done, Not that I ever scream at anybody, but so that's what I'll work on. Thanks. It's good. Oh, Peter's back again. This guy.
I got another informational question from Facebook. It says, how do we sign up for wine and beer dinners?
Yeah, so you can't because they're sold out tonight. But cheflance.com is usually is where we put those. And so this last time, the wife just put it at the very bottom of the website, and people can just go on there, and they're all prepay events, so you can't just say, yeah, I'm coming, and then not come. And we've had a couple people that, because of surgery and other stuff, they weren't able to make it, so we refunded them and then reached out to the people that wanted to come but couldn't get tickets, and now they're coming. So that's, cheflance.com is the best way to know about that. We do have a newsletter that you could sign up for. And then you'd be the first to know. But otherwise, wife is killing it on social media. We usually do 3 posts a day, something like that, just talking about the different things that we do. So follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll know as soon as we do about different stuff going on. So. Knock that one out of the park. Morning, sir.
I know you said you had shrimp on the menu. Do you cater to people with shellfish allergies? Are you able to make dishes to people who? Because my wife, for instance, my wife can die if she eats anything with shellfish. So
Yep.
It's very hard to find restaurants that cater to people who have shellfish allergies.
Sure. So, with my catering, even I've always, rather than writing a catering menu, I've always customized every event that I've ever done, and that's spilt over into the restaurant a little bit. So, we definitely, if you were to make a reservation and say severe, shellfish allergy, we would definitely make sure that there's no cross-contamination anyways, but we would make sure that extra precautions are taken for you and your wife. So, does that answer your question? Okay. Good. Morning.
You had indicated that probably your weakness is time management.
Yeah.
My question to you then is, if you've got a sold-out event already that's been prepaid, have you not scheduled another one?
Yeah, we have. Yep.
Good.
Yeah, we're on it. We have a beer dinner scheduled for October and a wine dinner scheduled for October. The
man's there.
Right, yeah. Yep. When we sold out in 18 hours, I went to my wife and my front of the house manager, and I was like, well, let's just add another day. We'll do it on Tuesday, or we'll do one at 5 and we'll do one at 7. I'm all about selling food. And they're like, pump the brakes, just let this one sell out, figure out if we make any mistakes, and then we can learn from those for October. And then obviously then it drives demand too, because everybody wanted to get in, but they couldn't. So they were right.
Onward and forward.
Yeah, onward and forward. So our thought was, rather than limiting the seating on those, is just to close the restaurant, and that's all we serve that night. So.
What is your long-term goal for your restaurant, and then how will you measure success for that goal?
Sure. Well, that's a good question, and I'm going to get religious on you here. But the first meal that I made in that restaurant sat at an empty table for my God. We also bathed our restaurant in prayer. My dad is a pastor, and him and his wife came down. My mom and dad came down, and then we had my longtime pastor record a prayer. So before we even started cooking in there, really, that was a big important thing to us. There's scriptures written underneath stuff that's been painted over, but it's there. We know it's there. And then our tree of hope. So how will I know that we've reached success is when, 5 years from now or 4 years from now, when we hear testimony from people. So we were told that we're not, and I agree with this, that we're not really starting a restaurant, but we started a church, right? And we serve our community and we serve each other. And so when those testimonies come in and say, I don't know what it is about your place, but I just feel super comfortable and invited and welcome and warm here, then we know that we're doing it right. So, long term, it's kind of hard to think about long term because of COVID, but long term, short term would be I would love to have a couple nights off. Long term would be, 10, 15 years from now, my kids are running it. Wife and I are, sitting on the beach somewhere. I don't necessarily want to open a second location or a food truck or anything like that. I mean, I have 100 seats, and if I could fill those 100 seats every day for the next 5 years, I'd be a super happy camper. Most restaurants require 40 to 50 people running around chaotically to serve people. And I thought that we were going to have 4 cooks at night. And I fired one at 7 o'clock a couple Fridays ago. And now we have 2, and it's like peace and calm, and we can have a full dining room, and it's just 2 of us back there just cooking. Long term, I really envision our family serving other people's families, and I'll know that we've made it when we hear people tell us that we did a great job at their event, and we're so grateful for you and your company, and we're going to do our anniversary here every year or whatever. Like, we're already hearing that. And so, again, like Matt said, I already am the most successful restaurant in town. So. I'm kidding, by the way.
There's no way for us to fact check that. So
right.
It could be true, and
right.
How do we know any different?
Yeah, it's not fake news. I'll tell you that.
Lance, we certainly appreciate your transparency, and I just like how open you've spoken about your faith and your commitment to your customers and your vision, and I think that's fantastic. So thank you for that. Our last question that we ask for every speaker is, what can we as the 1 Million Cups community do to help you?
Yeah, sure. I want to hear your creative ideas. I remember I posted on the Sioux Falls startup one time when I was just looking for. When you own a business, you constantly have people that want to sell you stuff, and that's great. Sometimes you need to buy that stuff, but I I'm about relationships and I'm about creativity. So I'm all about like win type situations. So if our business can help your business and the end client, they get served too, I want to hear about that kind of stuff. You know, if somebody wants to do a, you know, I don't know, they want to sell coffee koozies out of my place, like I want, yes, like let's talk, you know, so those are the kind of things. I don't want to do anything the way that traditional restaurants work. You know, I want to do everything where it's a collaborative, and it's most of the time you don't know when people are coming. And with our reservation system, we know who's coming, we know why they're coming, we know that there's a seafood allergy, we know that they want a table alone by themselves. And so, yeah, I guess the biggest thing there would be, I know that a lot of people have heard about us already, but I also know that there's a lot of people in Sioux Falls that haven't heard about us yet. So obviously, come eat lunch there or schedule an appointment there, and you can always ask to speak with the chef, and I do my best to stop out and meet you, and it might only be 30 seconds, but so that's how I could get help is, you know, what do you need to grow your business, and how could a chef help you do that? You know, maybe there's a way, maybe there isn't, but yeah.
Well, thanks, Lance.
Yeah.
Let's give Lance a round of applause. Yeah, you can go sit down now. So that's 1 million cups. Our speaker next week is going to be Brian Maynard with the Sioux Center of Entrepreneurship. Sioux has been through a lot of change this year. She's, built a new team. They've got some exciting programming coming down the pike. Just a lot of exciting things happening at Sioux, and we'll hear about those next week from Brian. I want to thank our sponsors. Hopefully the sponsor slide shows up soon. But First National Bank of Sioux Falls, Sioux Center for Entrepreneurship, Market Beat, Museum of Visual Materials, and Pinnacle Productions. We are very thankful to have Pinnacle here with us. They are definitely not charging us market rate for their services, but they've got a fantastic production set up here, and it's really kind of upped our game online. So thank you, Pinnacle. I think that's all I have for today. So we'll see you back here next Wednesday at 9 a.m. At the Museum of Visual Materials. Thank you all for coming.